Thanks for tuning in to Double Tap here on YouTube. If you're not already a subscriber to the channel, you're going to want to do that because we've got some pretty cool stuff lined up down the road, including our holiday gift guide. In this video from this week's episode of Double Tap TV on AMI TV, we welcome the VP of Software and Corporate Business Development for Freedom Scientific, the developers of JAWS. Matt Ater joins us. He previews what's good to look forward to in the 2023 edition.
The latest tech,
People love iPhone, and it's an important part of our daily lives.
interviews,
You see far too many products that come on the market that you look at that you say, was a blind person ever even consulted for something like this?
accessibility,
The most interesting thing over the last couple of years is the emphasis on gaming and accessibility.
This is Double Tap TV.
Thanks for being here on Double Tap TV. I am Marc Aflalo.
And I'm Stephen Scott. Now, Mark, this week we're going to be a bit witty, and we're going to connect a couple of topics that I think our audience will love.
Okay, do tell, Mr. Scott. Do tell, Stephen.
Okay, so we're going to talk about headsets, these wearable headsets that you might wear, for using your computer, maybe on a Zoom or Teams call, and JAWS, the screen reader.
Okay, fine. You're making it difficult for me to make a shark movie joke, but I'll thank you later for that.
Heard it all.
Yeah, seriously. Stephen, aside from old-fashioned Bluetooth headsets, for use on the go, I've only had experience with a couple of different headsets. And to me, the quality was only important as far as hearing the other person on the other end of the line, and them, of course, hearing me well enough. But I guess when it comes to using a screen reader like JAWS, there's a different set of criteria that you're looking out for in a headset, right?
Absolutely. And, there's a lot of things that you have to think about, call quality and audio quality is at the heart of it, right? If it sounds terrible, forget it. But equally, we have to think about some other things. So when you're using a screen reader, even though computers have improved and Bluetooth has improved, there is still often a lag, a little bit of latency between the audio coming from your computer to your headset. And that can be a problem, right? So if we think about connecting up a Bluetooth headset, you know what? If you hit play on a piece of music and it doesn't start till half a second later, that's not a problem for you, right? You don't care. But if every single key interaction you're making, you want to hear back in an instant, i.e. right away as soon as you press the key, that could become a problem if everything's coming back to you half a second later. Doesn't sound a lot, but it is. Especially when you're typing at high speed, or you want to check through a document, you want to just make sure you can arrow back and forward quickly. You can lose your place if the Bluetooth is lagging a little bit. So wired connection is often something we look for, or it might be a wireless headset. With one of those little USB dongles you get, you just plug them into your laptop at USB-A or USB-C. You might want to plug that in. That would allow you the ability to get a bit of a stronger connection. That's using a different kind of connection technology to Bluetooth. So that often cuts back on lag as well. You can get decent Bluetooth headsets, and there are ways to cut out some of that audio sleep mode, as it's often called, right? This is a feature now on computers where, to conserve energy, what will happen is the Bluetooth connection or the audio connection will be cut off as soon as the audio stops playing. So let's say you're listening to music. The song finishes, comes to an end, goes silent. Well, it will just turn off the audio. Now, the problem is you have to then wake the audio back up the next time something plays. So that means you have a little bit of lag again where the audio is sent back. So you might miss the beginning of a word. You might miss the beginning of a sentence. Well, you can turn things like that off using little apps like Silenzio, which is a great app for PC computers. You don't get this problem so much on Macs, but you do get it a lot on PCs.
So, Stephen, sorry to interrupt you, but what I'm getting from what you're saying is that really latency is probably the biggest, most important element of a headset, because if you hit that key, you want to hear that response immediately, and that's super important when you're using a screen reader, right?
Absolutely. And one other thing to look out for is a mute button, a physical mute button. If it's somewhere on the headset, that can make all the difference as well. Just make sure you know the difference between the mute button and the hang up call button. That can be a bit annoying in the middle of a Teams call.
Later on in the show, we're going to go through a couple of headsets that have a lot of these features. But you know what, Stephen, if I think back to headsets, whether they're wired or they're wireless or they're Bluetooth, they used to not be as common as a find as you have today. Nowadays, everybody's making some kind of headset, whether it's wired or wireless, almost at every single price point. You can probably go from, entry level at, $19, $20 all the way up to $1,000, right?
Absolutely. And I will say, and I think this is something to be aware of, you don't actually have to spend a lot of money. I know it's tempting to spend money on a good headset, especially when it gets into the the Jabras, the Plantronics of the world, they create really solid headsets. But actually, what do you need? If you need that wired connection, if you want to have those physical buttons on the device, if you want to cut down that latency, actually, you can go cheaper on a single earpiece, which is just a wire, just a single earpiece wire with a little microphone in it, and I could plug in with a 3.5mm jack into my headphone / microphone port on my computer, and it worked fine. It did absolutely fine, and actually one of the best little headsets I used. Audio quality is not going to be great, but bear in mind, if I'm only listening to someone on the other end of a call, or I'm only listening to a screen reader, how good do I need that audio to be? So keep your big fancy headsets for listening to music and enjoying and consuming content. Take off that little earpiece at night, or take off the tiny little cheap headset, and go and listen to your Bose or your Apple AirPods Max or whatever it is you enjoy your music on, and then you'll actually enjoy that content a little bit more.
I want to continue this conversation, Stephen, about headsets, but before we do, we have a guest standing by to talk about something close to your heart, and I'm sure close to our audience's heart as well.
Indeed. Matt Ater, Vice President of Software and Corporate Business Development at Freedom Scientific, is standing by. And after the break, he is going to walk us through some of the highlights in the next update to the JAWS screen reader for 2023.
Amazing. This is Double Tap TV. Back in a second.
You're watching Double Tap TV. Get involved. Follow us at Double Tap On Air or email us feedback@doubletaponair.com. Double Tap TV will be right back.
Thanks for watching this Double Tap video. Again, if you're not already subscribed to our channel, hit that subscribe button and don't forget the notification bell. It will help you get notified when we've got a brand new video just like this to share with you.